Hey there, it is Rob from Crypto Bobby, and today I want to talk to you about the new exchange effect. Something that you've probably seen with a lot of these smaller altcoins that have recently ICO'd within the past month or 2 months or whatever it might be, that have been trading kind of steadily along, and then all of a sudden, boom, they're up 30% in a day, they're up 50% in a day, they're up 100% in a day off of some news. Well, that news is usually they're being added to a new exchange. So I want to talk about kind of what goes on there, how you can potentially capitalize on that, when maybe you shouldn't capitalize on it, and just how to be better aware of what's going on within this crypto space in some of these smaller recently ICO'd altcoins, so you can potentially make some really nice profits off of that. And if you are new to the channel, my name is Rob from Crypto Bobby. I do a daily video on cryptocurrency, investing, trading, whatever it might be, on a daily basis. And if you are new, please hit the subscribe button. Would love that. If you're listening on iTunes, hit that subscribe button, leave a review there. And I try to answer as many of the comments as physically, humanly possible for me. So I appreciate everybody reaching out, subscribing. This has been an awesome journey with you guys so far. So let's get into it. Really, let's get into the bulk of the discussion on this kind of new exchange effect, what's going on there, and what you might have seen in the marketplace, and how you can really potentially capitalize on that. So a lot of people reach out and they'll leave a comment of, hey, I see XYZ is trading, or XYZ currency just got added to so-and-so exchange, or they just announced they're getting added to so-and-so exchange. So let's talk about kind of some of the bigger exchanges out there first, and how you can understand where these places are being traded, and then how to potentially capitalize on the news. So the first thing that you might want to know is there's a couple major exchanges that have the majority of, not necessarily the majority of volume, but you can actually see on CoinMarketCap what has the majority of volume, where has the majority of the volume. But one of the big ones that, at least in the United States, is driving a lot of some of these market movements is Bittrex, and this is a big one that has a lot of the more established coins. Now, the interesting thing to note here is that Bittrex, when a company has an ICO, or when a token ICOs, Bittrex typically isn't the first one to add the token directly into Bittrex, because they're usually, it seems like they're maybe a little bit more conservative. They want to make sure that the token isn't necessarily a security. They want to make sure that they can't get in trouble. They want to make sure that the tech works for them. Somewhat seems like they're protecting their customers, which is a good thing, because you don't want something to get added to an exchange and then lose your shirt, whatever it might be. So Bittrex is one of the big ones that a lot of people look to when something isn't necessarily on their exchange at first, but if it might be on their exchange, that's a really good sign, a really good possibility. So you're probably saying to yourself, okay, what cryptocurrencies out there? What are some of these recent ICOs maybe that that aren't trading on an exchange like Bittrex, or in a couple other places, something like Binance, which is another big exchange? How do you know where these cryptocurrencies are trading, and how can you better understand that and maybe capitalize off that? So the first thing I might recommend is, if you own a coin, or if you don't own a coin yet, and you're starting to hear some different chatter about it, you're starting to hear maybe some interest pick up on it, and you're starting to evaluate whether or not you might want to invest in it, I would recommend heading over to CoinMarketCap. And let's just use DNT for an example, District OX, because this is something that I did put a little bit of investment, for full transparency, into DNT, and it was really kind of based off of what happened here. But let's use this as an example as well. So I'll type in DNT into CoinMarketCap. And when we go down here to look at the charts in general, you can see there's been a few different times after the ICO where, kind of DNT ICO'd at around $14 million market cap, and there were a couple different noticeable spikes from 14 to $47 million, and then a little stabilization, and then a spike all the way up to about $100 million, kind of doubled, and then a little bit of stabilization, and then another spike back up to $100 million in market cap. So you might be asking yourself, what the hell happened? Why would a coin spike this much? And a lot of it is driven by the fact that DNT is getting added to a number of exchanges. So DNT is getting added to a couple different exchanges, and right now they're really not being traded that widely. So what you'd want to do is you want to go to this Markets tab within CoinMarketCap, and that's going to tell you the exchanges that a specific coin is being traded on, and the volume at which it's being traded at, and the pairing. So the two biggest exchanges for DNT, District OX, are liquid with both DNT Bitcoin and DNT to ETH pairings, and then you have smaller volume on HitBTC and Ether Delta. And now one thing you'll probably want to notice as well that I think is important to to realize in a lot of cases is liquid LIQUI, liquid here, and I'll pull it up here as well. Liquid.io is typically one of the first, from what I've seen, one of the first exchanges almost immediately after an ICO concludes and the tokens go to exchanges. Liquid seems like they're pretty much always the first ones to offer those tokens. So for when you're looking at these things, some of the other larger exchanges like a Bittrex or like a Binance or any of these other larger exchanges, or a Poloniex, although that one's kind of going down the tubes a little bit, we could talk about that at another time. But a lot of these other exchanges are more conservative in terms of adding coins. They might be 2, 3, 4 weeks behind Liquid adding a coin after its ICO. So this goes to two different points. Number one, if you miss out on an ICO, Liquid isn't a bad place to get those coins the second they hit the market, or after they might stabilize, because maybe they might pump for the first day or so on the marketplace. But Liquid, if you miss out on an ICO and you were really keen on getting into it, Liquid is a good place to go, because usually it's one of the first places to go to actually get the to get that token. Also, Ether Delta is as well. It's a decentralized Ethereum-based exchange. It's a little bit maybe more technical or a little bit more confusing if you're not super technically savvy or kind of great with trading. So Ether Delta is another one that is pretty much the first one to have that type of to have newer coins immediately after their ICO. So I would check on both Liquid and Ether Delta if you're looking to get if you're looking to get exposure to some new coins right after the ICO. But then getting back to the point, so these coins, they ICO, they go on to at least some of the smaller ones, the smaller market caps, maybe the 15, 30, $45 million market cap coins are going to go on Liquid. They're going to go on Ether Delta. They're going to trade around for a little bit. We can kind of look back at the charts. They're going to hang out for a little bit of time here. This is August 6th. Let's take a look here. Yeah, maybe around August 5th, August 6th. And for about four or 5 days, things traded not necessarily flat, but pretty conservatively. And then some news came out around here that took it from a $15 million market cap all the way up to maybe around a $57 million market cap. And a lot of that news was driven by the potential of DNT to be added to Bittrex. And then when that happens, a lot of people buy in anticipation of something being added to Bittrex. Kind of the old buy the rumor, sell the news type thing. A lot of people will buy and they will rush to buy DNT in this case when they think it's going to be added to Bittrex, because they think that's going to give there's a lot of volume on Bittrex, so it's going to give more exposure. There's going to be more people that are going to be able to buy something like DNT. They're going to be able to. It's going to have a positive effect essentially on the price. And then that's kind of driven a lot of this price action. And DNT isn't even on Bittrex yet. There were actually some complications there that are a little bit unique to DNT in regards to a compliance fee and some things like that with getting listed. But it's something to certainly keep an eye on. And you can also see in a few different cases here, you might be thinking to yourself, why or how would I be able to determine when something might be added to one of these exchanges? How would I know that? And so one of the good places is Reddit. Quite frankly, I mean, if you're on Reddit, here's the ETH Trader. Here's the ETH Trader Reddit. You might want to check that out, take a look at it, and get a good understanding of what's going on there. But Reddit is oftentimes one of the good places to see that news. Twitter is as well. So if you want to follow an exchange, if like a Poloniex or a Bittrex, they all have Twitter accounts. You can follow them, and a lot of times they'll list certain information like this. So Poloniex is actually one of the last ones to add coins and has been getting a lot of crap lately from the community in regards to customer support. But you can see here, they announced yesterday that ZRX was being added to Bitcoin and ETH pairings as well. So that was something, and then you can kind of get an idea of what a lot of people are thinking about. Work my fucking 4-month-old ticket. So, but that's something that you would see in the process of kind of a lot of this going on, and you might see literally like at the minute something like this is tweeted about, it's going to spike up, it'll trade up a little bit. You can also see something like here. This was another Reddit post. This was from a day ago, and District OX DNT will be trading on Binance on August 22nd, which is a big exchange, as well as Monaco, and then I believe ICN is Iconami, if I'm not crazy. If not, don't hold me to it. I can't remember every single every single term there as well. But you're looking at Binance adding OAX, DNT, Monaco, and ICN. And to give you a little bit of a story too, outside of how you can potentially trade on some of this stuff, I actually bought OAX, which is OpenANX, and I bought a little bit of this actually at the ICO. It was literally 1 ETH worth of. I bought 1 ETH worth, and to be completely honest with you, forgot I even had it. And I was on Liquid just kind of looking around. I'm not usually on Liquid, but I was on Liquid looking around, and I saw I saw it just start spiking up, and I was like, wait, don't I have OAX? And then I checked my address in my Ledger wallet, and I was like, oh shit, I have OAX. That's pretty sweet. So that was kind of cool to see. And a lot of, I think, what happens though is OAX is a similar one to DNT right now, where it's really only trading on Liquid, HitBTC, and Ether Delta, which are typically the first ones that are going to carry some of these smaller coins, and then they're going to go to, if they get some interest, if some of the other exchanges show some interest in holding them and allowing trading on their exchanges, that's when that spike occurs. And we can see back here that spike literally it went from 12 million in market cap all the way up to 25 to 50 or so, and now it's kind of bouncing around. But that's something to keep an eye on. And one of the things I would caution here is it's tempting to think in this process, as soon as you see a Reddit post like this, as soon as you see a Reddit post, DNT will begin trading on Binance August 22nd. You see this a day ago, you're like, oh shit, I got to run to Liquid, I got to buy some DNT, and I'm going to trade this all the way up. Now, if you see this, it's very likely that it's already too late. It's very likely that everybody else is seeing this and they're trying to buy, and then all the people that are already holding are like, oh, maybe I'm gonna take some profits. I'll take some off the table, take some profits. I'll sell, and then you're ending up buying on the top, carrying the bags. So that's just one thing to keep in mind. It's on an individual case. Each coin is going to behave differently depending upon the merit of the crypto. They're all going to behave differently, so it's something to keep an eye on. But it's really, really tempting, and I've personally done it before too, where you see something's going to get listed on an exchange, and you're like, holy crap, so-and-so's going on Bittrex, whatever's going on Binance, something else is going somewhere, and you get excited and you see it and you're like, all right, I got to go to the one exchange that has it, I'm going to buy it. And then you go to that exchange and it's spiking through the damn roof. And you can even see, in real time on Liquid, let's just zoom in right here. Here's pretty much one of those points where it's like, all right, DNT might be added to Bittrex right about here, and then all the way up top. Granted, if you bought here, you're still in the green, you're still profiting, which is great for you, but you could have also bought right up here because you got so excited that, oh man, this is going to be on Bittrex, this is going to be on Binance, it's going to be all over the place, and now you're carrying the bags and your investment is down 20%. So you want to be aware of that this is a great thing if you're already holding the coin, but if you're not holding the coin, you might want to let it die down a little bit because it's no doubt going to spike. You can see here, it's going to spike. And then people are going to take profits, and it's probably going to lose a little bit of momentum. So you want to keep that in mind because it sounds great in theory. Wow, it's going to be on so-and-so exchange, and I'm going to make a bunch of money. Maybe it'll be a quick trade, but there's a really good likelihood that if you already see a bunch of green candles or in Liquid's case, blue candles, although I'm colorblind, so I can't really tell the damn difference. But you already see some blue candles here. So you want to buy on that dip. If it's rocketing through the moon, I would caution you to not let emotion get the best of you because you might get burned. And I've made videos before. I made yesterday's video talking about how I got roasted on a status trade. So it's something you want to keep an eye on. It's something you really do want to be aware of so that you don't get screwed in the meantime. Outside of that, if you are kind of trading, if you do have any questions on any specific coins, on anything really out there, please let me know. I've opened up a lot of different social channels. I'm now on Twitter, so just have a whole 5 followers here on Twitter. But I'll shoot my I just opened this up yesterday, but I'll include the Twitter link in the description as well if you want to follow me on Twitter. Hopefully we get some good conversation going there as well and offer some real-time insight. And if you do have any questions, as always, really look forward to answering those and participating as much as possible. If there's anything you think I should know about, please let me know, because this is really a learning experience for me. Hopefully it's a learning experience for you. And I just want to be as open and transparent as possible with you guys. That's kind of my goal in the long run, is just learning as much as possible. And then too, I need to update this, but I'll give you guys a quick look as well, so you can get a feel for where my portfolio is. And this is as well, if you go to, I'll include a link in the description, but cryptobobby.com is the website that I have. I just created that. It's pretty bare bones now, but if you ever want to see what crypto I'm holding right now, I need to adjust this because I made some moves in the past day or so. But this is a pie chart, really. It might be adjusted by the time you see that. I'll include a little bit of a timestamp for you. But this is really just for full transparency. I mean, a lot of people talk on YouTube, and they tell you this is what you need to invest in. You're stupid if you don't invest in this. You're an idiot. You need to buy this. You need to buy that. I'm not going to say any of that. You are ultimately kind of the master of your own destiny within this space. I'm the master of my own destiny. I'm going to try and learn from you guys. Maybe you might try and learn from me. I am not an expert, as I've said a million times. I'm just having a great time doing this. But if you are curious and you want to see too if there's like some type of internal bias that I have as far as things go, this is where my holdings are, so you kind of understand. And this is on a percentage basis in relation to fiat. So if I have right now 15% Ethereum is what I have here. So just for example, if I had $10,000, I would have $1,500 worth of Ethereum. Is kind of how I've structured this pie chart to work. So if you ever are curious about, like, this guy's talking about a bunch of stuff, but like, what's he actually doing? This is kind of where this is me putting my money where my mouth is, just so you have an understanding. And really, it's just for full transparency. I mean, that's what I want with this channel, is just open, honest, transparent. I'm not an expert. I'm not going to be able to give you some incredible predictions on the future. I just want to show you, kind of what I'm doing, what I'm thinking, and learn as much from you all as possible. So I appreciate that. If you do have any comments, if you have any questions as well, please let me know. And outside of that, would love a subscribe if you are new here. Hopefully you found this valuable in terms of understanding what happens when a new coin hits an exchange, how you can potentially benefit off that. Should you trade? Should you buy the second you hear that announcement, and everything of that nature? Thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate it. Rob from Crypto Bobby signing out. I hope you have a great day, great night whenever you're watching this, and good luck trading, buying, holding, selling. Wish you all the best. Have a good one. Peace.